So yesterday, we saw a very basic overview of understanding first thing, what is software as a service, why service now gained popularity, and what is the tool all about in very basic overview kind of thing. So anyone, any question till there, guys? Anyone who wants me to talk further about these?
Yeah, Saloni, this is Lata. But did you send any documentation or something like that? What type of chapters are it's going to be covered?
If you want the course, Lata, I would say talk to Srini. He can help you with that.
Oh, okay.
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 He will be the right person to pitch in there.
Okay.
Anyone else? Any other query?
I did have a question, but I was going to park it in the end related to scripting. And so I did see the syllabus along with glide forms. Would we also be using JavaScript? Is it only client-side scripting or we cover more than that?
We cover more than that. We'll be seeing every aspect of scripting in service now. Be
Okay.
it server side, client side, everything we'll be talking about.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And talking about the dependency, yeah, correct question you asked. Thanks for that. So yeah, guys, if you'll see the base, yes, it is very much similar to your JavaScript. So even if you don't know that, as in I would not say that as a prerequisite, but again, at the time of learning, what I always say every batch is that teaching I'll take care of, even if you don't know JavaScript or you know JavaScript, that's not a prerequisite. But surely the only help which I'll be seeking from you is to be regular with lab work when we'll start the assignments and whatnot. That's where I'll be needing your help. Okay, so that's that. Anyone else? Any other question, guys? Okay. So if not, let's proceed further. By this time, few topics, few points about the tool we have covered. First, it is a ticketing tool. Second, it is a software as a service. Anyone who wants to explain what is software as a service to Vedika? You try, guys. Like, you can be wrong, obviously. Who is judging? It will be a recap for you guys. So people who were there in yesterday's session, anyone, do you want to attempt to make people understand what is software as a service? Abhash, you want to give it a try? Lata, anyone else?
So in SaaS, we only take care for the UI, user interface, the backend database and servers, and all other infrastructure is managed by the ServiceNow company. So we will get only a URL and we will access the ServiceNow through URL, and we don't need to take care of the database and all the servers. We will only work on the UI and scripting part of, means on the UI level only, not the backend.
Perfect answer. Anyone else? Any other tool? Any other website which you use with the similar approach, guys?
Yes, ma'am. I was using Clarity. It's a project and portfolio management tool developed by CA, Computer Associates. So earlier, it was on-premise. So we had all the servers, database server, application server. But yeah, later it moved to SaaS. And now they moved to cloud. So now they are on AWS.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Any other website, guys, which you use daily for sure?
Maybe Microsoft 365.
Okay, any other thing?
Jira.
I want to get what I'm looking for.
Gmail,
Something which
Yahoo
everyone
Mail,
is using. Gmail,
Facebook.
correct. Perfect. That's what I was looking for. Thank you for that. So yeah, Gmail, Facebook, Instagram, all these are also designed on the similar approach. Correct? Even in those, you don't take care as a customer. Let's say if I have to use Gmail, I just go ahead, create my account into the Gmail. Sorry. And I'm good to use the tool. I never care about the back end of it, correct? So that's that. Now, coming back over here to the slide. So yeah, we have seen all these. So this one I'm skipping. And in this one, what I want to highlight is I want to talk about this. It contains number of applications. So ServiceNow has got different applications. We have applications like incident, service catalog, what all those are when I'm using the term. We will elaborate it just after completing the overview of it. So I'm not going to the depth of it for the people who don't know what these are. Yes, we will surely talk about that in a minute. The next thing in here is what? The next thing in here is to understand it can vary by instance. Now, what does that mean? It means when you will sign contract with ServiceNow as an organization I work for, if my company wants ServiceNow, what will they do? Obviously, they'll sign a contract with ServiceNow. And once they do so, what will happen?
A URL is provided that can be customized for our own enterprise use.
Yeah, it is. So what happens in that particular one-up is that in that particular case, as part of the base package, guys, ServiceNow offers minimum of 3 different URLs to your customer company. Now the question arises, why 3 different URL? What is the need of it? So the reason of that is that when we sign the contract, we get one URL called the dev URL, where the developers, as the name itself says, dev means development. So we as a developers, we as enhancers, if we have to do some customization for the customer company, we will be doing it in the development URL of ServiceNow. The next step in here is what? The next one in here is the test URL. So once the developer is done with the development, he or she will do what? He or she will be going ahead and promoting the code in test environment where the testers, the validators will test whether the build done by me is working all good or not. The last one is nothing but the last one is the production URL, the go live URL. The go live URL is used, the production URL is used by actual customers whenever they have to raise certain tickets. So these are the different configuration, different purpose in there. Yeah, so that's what that is about. So now let's see the next thing in here. Then we are saying it will vary by user. So instance means the different URL, the 3 URL which the company gave, got it from ServiceNow. What is user, guys? So in that case, what will happen is, in that case, each one of us within the company, like let's say all of us, we are employee of the same organization. And if we are using ServiceNow as the ticketing tool, so what will happen? Everyone will have their user account into the tool. Obviously, the access will be different based on what profile do you belong to. Correct? So that's that in there. Now let's proceed further. This already we have talked so much in depth, so I'm skipping this one for sure. History of the tool. The tool was found way back in 2003 by Fred. He was initially working for Remedy and Peregrine. From there, from Remedy, he got the idea of a ticketing tool. Obviously, to the major reason of the transition, as we talked earlier also, is that Remedy was being delivered to the customer as what? As a platform as a service, whereas ServiceNow is being delivered as a software as a service. Then we are saying it is based on ITIL standards, and then we are saying that its headquarters is in Santa Clara, California. So now let's proceed further. The next thing is understanding what is ITIL. Like if you see in the prior slide, we are saying ServiceNow is based on ITIL standards. But what is ITIL? Now we need to understand that. So let's talk a bit about that. So the first thing first, which we need to understand over here in this particular one up is what? The first thing first, which we need to understand over here in this given cases, is to understand over here in this particular one up, what does ITIL look for? What does it mean? So let's see that. So we are saying ITIL stands for Information Technology Infrastructure Library. Now, okay, that is the full form, but what exactly does it mean? So the meaning of that is ITIL is actually, it doesn't talk about anything on the technical aspect of a tool. ITIL is a process terminology. In fact, ITIL itself is a training topic, is a training course where you get deeper analysis, deeper understanding of ITIL. So if you'll read about ITIL, guys, you will find it out that it is a process terminology which gives the tool, like let's say if I'm developing a tool and if I'm using ITIL as a framework for me, it gives me a vision on how can I develop the tool better than as is competitors there in the market. For example, let's say, very basic scenario, let's say I'm developing a library management tool. When I'm developing a library management tool today, so many competitors are already there in the market with the similar approach. So why will people start using my library management? Obviously, I need to offer some extra benefits, some extra perks to the tool, whatever I'm developing. So ITIL helps you visualize that. So I would say, guys, if you get time, explore a bit about ITIL. It has got the workflow. So I would say, if you get time, read about that workflow phases and whatnot. It will give you better understanding of it. So just to give a very basic overview, if you'll see ITIL, it has got workflow in which different phases are there. First one is your design. ITIL says that, okay, when you get a requirement, first you visualize it, first you design a rough sketch kind of thing you do about the requirement, you note it down somewhere so that you get better clarity of what you're looking, what or how will you achieve or whatnot. So that's about that. The next aspect over here in this case is what? The next thing over here in this particular one up is your understanding of what? Understanding of your technology, the build phase. In the build phase, you must do the development, then it is testing, obviously. The major phase which I like about ITIL is the vision which it has given to ServiceNow is, you must, if you're developing a tool, you must think about continuous development plan of the tool. You must think about how can I continuously work on making my tool better than existing tools into the market. How can I work towards that? Yeah, so that's what that is about. So how does ServiceNow use it? Now, when I'm saying that, yeah, ServiceNow makes use of it, so where and how it is doing that? So what do we need to understand in this case is that we need to understand over here in this given case that if you'll see ServiceNow, guys, if you'll explore about it, you will find it out that every year ServiceNow brings in new version of the tool. Every year ServiceNow works to get new version of the tool. When I say, what does it mean? Is the tool changing every year? No, it is not changing every year. Rather, when I say new version of the tool, every year new functionalities are added to the tool. ServiceNow works towards continuously improving the tool, making it better than the previous scenarios. So what happens in that particular case is nothing but, in such particular case, ServiceNow says, okay, I'll create new versions of the tool. And when I say so, if last version is having certain issue, I'll try to even fix that. Plus, if the newer version will also have the last version issue fixes plus some new features added on top of it. So as a developer, do we need to keep on evolving? Does every version get new scripting concept? No, it is not. So talking about me, guys, I started when the tool was in Berlin release. But obviously the concept, the understanding of scripting which I use there is still applicable here. So the scripting is not changing. New features, new applications, we are providing it to our customers. So that's what that is about. Okay. So now let's proceed further. The other day I was also talking about at any given point in time, we also need to understand what are the functionalities of ServiceNow, why and how it is gaining the popularity the way it is today. So the vision, the major vision again, which ServiceNow has given, ITIL has given to ServiceNow is, ITIL also talks about if you're developing the tool, you must think about different aspects of the tool. One is, for example, it helps you in visualizing the service availability of the product. Today, if I am developing a product and I assure the customer that, okay, minimal or zero downtime will be there, obviously the customers will be happy with such experience. If I'm assuring that, okay, the product which you're going to get, there will be no downtime, there will be no unavailability of the product, what better? Now you may have a question, okay, how is ServiceNow assuring that? How does it take care of it? So to work on the service availability, guys, ServiceNow takes 6 different backup of the production or the go live environment. I'll repeat, it takes 6 different backups. So when it has taken 6 different backup, now what's the benefit there? That is, let's say, for example, today, if the server was pointing to location A, when it was pointing to location A today, let's say the server which we were using, now it has crashed. So how will I work further? How will I work into that? So in that particular case, we as a customer, we just need to give a call to ServiceNow, and ServiceNow will take care of fixing it for us. Make sense? So that's what that is about. So always remember, guys, that the tool is gaining popularity for what? The tool is gaining popularity over here in this particular one up. Only because over here in this case, what is happening is we are saying always that, okay, we will keep on evolving the tool. We will take different backups, second point. Third, it even helps to give minimal, or I would say the performance issue is less in the tool, like slowness, you will see less to the tool. So how does ServiceNow take care of it? To handle the slowness, ServiceNow says, okay, we will use a concept of load balancing. Anytime when you are running the code, let's say even if it is running on different aspects, different server, what is the benefit in that case is that it says that, okay, at any given point in time, whenever we are doing the configuration and whatnot, we will never be running the entire transaction on a single server, on a single node. Rather, what will it do? How will it work? Rather, it will take node balancing concept in which on a single server there will be different nodes, so that let's say, suppose just an example, let's say 10 people log in, their request will get processed on first node. When the 11th person log in, we will not again put it on the same node, rather we'll run it on another node, another server, so that the load balancing is happening, so that entire transaction we are not running on a single server, we are balancing the load, because of which the performance will be better, because of which the slowness we will be able to handle it. So that's what that is about. Okay. Now, what we need to understand over here in this particular one up is, we need to understand over here in this case the benefits which we are getting because of ITIL, and we know ServiceNow is based on ITIL, so obviously the benefit even gets passed on to ServiceNow. Is why is ServiceNow popular? Because of all these benefits here. Say it increases the user and customer satisfaction. As I told, in this case, we are offering a tool. We are saying, okay, minimal or zero downtime will be there. Obviously, the customers will be happy with such experience. What else? The next thing which we are talking about over here in this case is, we are even talking about that the service availability will be better. As I already explained, it is taking different backups. Obviously, the downtime is minimal, the performance is better, and whatnot. Financial saving is there, because as I told, if you are developing a tool based on ITIL standard, guys, what does ITIL talks about? ITIL says, okay, if that is the case, I will be doing nothing, but I will be having different phase of the tool development. I will be having first the design, then the development. So in the different phase, when you are going through those phases, now you get the better understanding of tool development. Correct? So that's that. So these are some things because of which today the tool is gaining popularity. These are some of the perks, some of the benefits of ServiceNow as well. Whatever benefits we see here, We can even consider those as benefit of service now. Any question on this slide?
I had a clarification. So the recovery, you said minimal. Is it an hour? Is it 2? Is there a snapshot, or is it something we configure, or is it something controlled by ServiceNow?
It is controlled by ServiceNow. Why? Because if you remember, I told you ServiceNow takes care of the database and the server, correct?
So how soon do they do the recoveries? An hour is do we know something like that? If
It
they have,
depends on which URL are you trying to recover and what's the kind of contract which you have with the company and stuff. So actually what happens, let's say my server is down, okay?
Mhm.
So one way is that they will be running their regular checks to see, okay, their customers instances are up and not. But let's say if I feel, no, it's critical for me and I want to resolve it ASAP. So
Mhm.
as part of the base package, ServiceNow gives you an account into a website called hi.servicenow.com.
Okay.
This is a website where customer, you will be creating tickets if you seek ServiceNow help in any aspect. Today I feel that, okay, the ServiceNow, it has given me a tool, but yeah, my server, I'm seeing slowness or whatever kind of help I seek from the tool, even ongoing help. Like, let's say today, the X application of the tool is not working fine. Even in such cases, guys, you will be raising a ticket in a website called hi.servicenow.com. It is the support website of the tool. So everyone always remember, this is how you are going to approach the customer service of the tool.
Okay, so
As
when we approach them, they would help with the recovery, and if there is a disaster recovery that needs to be done,
yeah,
and with the data snapshots and everything
Yep.
back.
they will.
All right, thank you.
Like I'll tell you about one scenario. So what one of my colleagues did in long back, it happened. But yeah, it's a good example to talk about. So what he did is, by mistake, he deleted all the production CI data. What is CI? We'll go in depth of it. That is not my target right now, guys. But yeah, by mistake, he did so. We couldn't afford to again rebuild that data, correct? We somehow need to recover that. So how will that happen? In such particular cases, yeah, we will make use of this configuration in here. Okay, so that's that. Anyone else, any other question? Okay. So now let's proceed further. So the next slide, which I wanted to talk about, is the features of ServiceNow. Why am I putting snow over here? Just to make you understand that, yeah, people do refer the tool even by snow. Snow means nothing but it is a ServiceNow at the end of. Okay, so that's that. Now, what are the features? First one is, it is very simple and consistent to use. Today, when we'll start using the tool, obviously we'll understand better. But yeah, today, if I'm looking for some application, the only thing which you have to do is you have to just search the keyword. What exactly incident is, guys, as I told, I will brief you that. So yeah, don't go into that complication, understanding and all those stuff. But as you can see, it's easy for the customer to understand, to analyze or work upon. As you can see in here, whatever keyword I'm looking for, I just type in and the related items are being displayed to me. Correct, so that's what that is about. Now, what else? The next thing which we need to understand over here in this case is what the next thing which we need to understand over here in this particular one up is that when we are doing the configurations and whatnot, we need to understand what we need to understand over here in this particular one-up, that it says that it is very flexible. Now, how does the flexibility works? It'll make sense better when we'll talk about the integration of the two. So these two benefits, they go hand in hand. So we will surely discuss this flexibility and easy to integrate. Not right now, but yeah, surely we will be talking about the same. Okay, so that's that. What else? The next thing in here is to understand what the next thing over here for us to understand is it is very secure. Now, how are we talking about the data security? How are we making sure that the data, the transactions are secure and whatnot? So for that, obviously, as we know, this is a web-based interface, correct? So when I'm saying that the tool is a web-based interface, now we have to surely worry about the data transaction and its security. So how is ServiceNow taking care of it? For that to taken care of, ServiceNow always uses HTTPS protocol, if you see, for all the transactions in here. That's what the perk or the benefit in here is. Okay, so that's that. Now, the next feature which we need to talk about is how does speed time to production work? So already we talked in the prior slide that ServiceNow is based on ITIL standard. ITIL works into that aspect to take care of what ITIL says that, okay, whenever we are building the tool, ITIL will give you different phases through which when your tool goes through, the tool understanding of demand will be better. So that's that, because of which the rework will be reduced, and obviously when the rework is reduced, the time to the market will get improved. What else? The next thing which we need to understand over here in this particular one-up is what? The next thing which we need to understand over here in this given case is the architecture of the tool. This is a very important one, guys, to understand how the architecture, how the different layers of the tool have been structured. On the top layer lies the user interface UI. Any tool, obviously, when we access as a customer, we always access it through the UI of the tool, right? So that's what this is about. It is the user interface. It is the top layer in there. What is the next stuff in here? The next stuff in here is these two. Obviously, you would not have heard about these. So, but just to make you understand that, these will be used by the third parties, by the vendors or the suppliers for them to communicate with the tool. Let's say I'm the vendor of your company. I provide laptops to your company, suppose, for example. So if I have to communicate with the tool, this is how I will do so. Okay, so that's that. Next stuff in here is what? The next step over here in this particular one-up is the scripting layer. So before I do so, let's do a recap. So this end user will access the tool through UI. Third parties, the vendors and supplier, they will be accessing the tool through these layers. Always remember, be it the customers, the end users, or the third parties, they will not have access to each other layer. Also, they will not have access to any of the bottom layers. And that's that. Now, what is the next step here? The next step in here is the scripting layer. Scripting layer is the layer in which you and me, we will be involved. As a developer, me and you, we will be responsible to work to enhance this particular layer. That's that. The next thing is what? Now, what will I write in scripting layer? When I say scripting layer, okay, which language do I need to know? For its easy learning and practice purpose, guys, ServiceNow has developed its own syntaxes. Those are the syntaxes which we'll be learning in the scripting layer. Yeah, so that's what that is about. In the DB layer, then what will happen? Let's see the need of it and then we'll talk about that. So actually in scripting layer, what I told you we are going to write ServiceNow specific scripting. When I'm writing the ServiceNow specific scripting in here, now, when let's say I wrote a request to the database to fetch, to send certain data. When my request goes to the database, which language does the database understand, guys? Always remember, the database only understands the SQL command, SQL command. So now in the scripting, I have written ServiceNow syntax says, database says I can only understand the SQL, which means now the conversion needs to happen from ServiceNow scripting to the SQL command. So this will happen where? This conversion will be happening in the DB layer. DB layer is the layer where this conversion will be happening of ServiceNow syntax into the SQL command will get converted here. Now question arises, are we exposed to the DB layer? So the answer is no, we are not exposed to this layer in here. It is not in our scope. So our access is only limited till the scripting layer. So as a developer, yeah, I do work on changing the UI, on customizing these integration things. Plus I do scripting. That is what a developer's profile is about. Anyone, any question till here?
Just for my understanding, so the API calls that we do from other applications, are they not talking to the DB layer?
They are talking to the DB layer, but your, let's say I'm the third party, how am I communicating? I'm communicating using these protocols, correct?
Right.
Obviously,
So
finally, it is everything is finally, how is UI? How are you when you are using the look and feel? Are you not fetching the data from UI? Yeah, you are, no? You are fetching the data from the database. Your access is limited. You as a third party, you cannot access the bottom layer. I'm saying that obviously, if even on the look and feel, when the data is being returned, let's say I go to Facebook, yesterday I posted a pic, today I can see that. How can I see that? Obviously, it is in the database. So surely everything is getting derived from here.
let me rephrase. So as a
Hmm.
developer, when you said we don't talk to the DB layer, are we saying that
We don't have access. No.
we as a developer
We
or
as a
ServiceNow
developer,
or application?
no. Dear, say it this way. Any tool, like let's say, as I told, like let's say I went into Instagram or Facebook and I uploaded my picture today. Where will the picture get saved? Does it get saved in my laptop? No, it gets saved into the database of the tool, okay?
Right.
For every tool, the data is finally going to sit into the database. That never changes. I'm just talking about who has access of which layer. That's what.
Okay. But as a developer, we would be
You
coding
only
for
have
the.
access till here.
Oh, okay.
Last two layers is not in your scope, is maintained and managed by ServiceNow.
That is what I wanted to confirm. Okay, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So these two layers, you as a developer, you don't have access. I can't even see how does the database configurations are, even though I'm a developer. My limit is only till here. Obviously, everything is sitting in the database. That is for sure. That is never changing for any tool. That's how you preserve the data, correct? So that's what that is. So end user, he can only access till here. I go to the form, I see the data, that's it. I can't do scripting. I can't do these stuff. Third party, they use these protocols to access the data, send the data, fetch the data, whatever. Again, they can't see further. So that's what I meant. So now guys, let's proceed further. The next thing which I wanted to talk about is understanding some key applications of the tool. When I say so, what does it mean? Let's have a look. So in here, I'm just trying to highlight what are the major applications of ServiceNow in here. So the major applications, as you can see in here, are incident, problem, change, and service catalog. Yeah, so that's what that is about. What all these in depth are, we can see that tomorrow. But yeah, prior to that, anyone, any question till here?
Again, a clarification.
Yeah.
Change is meant for both server changes and application changes. That's what that change means, right?
No, it doesn't. What it is, we will talk about. But no, that's not the answer.
Okay.
Anyone else, any other question, guys? Till what we have covered, anyone, if you are not understanding or whatever query you have, please go ahead. Avash, you want to add?
Yes, ma'am. So actually, I have two questions. Means how access rights works here. Means what is the module for access security subscription? How you will decide which license, which kind of license, like fulfiller or. So are we going to cover in this one?
No, so how it works is in ServiceNow, there is a user table. In specific, if I talk about where you are going to configure the users. Licenses in ServiceNow, mostly ServiceNow says that, okay, obviously, and it makes sense also that how many active users your company will have in production in the go live environment. Based on that, ServiceNow charges your company. But when you say licensed user, who are the licensed users in the company? There is something called ITIL. What is that? We will surely talk about. But there is something called ITIL. The people who have those roles are the licensed user of the company.
Okay. Okay. I have lots of questions just because I am the only one who is responsible for ServiceNow in my organization. So yeah, that's why I have a lot of questions. Yeah, but
no, we will talk about. As I said, like
yeah,
we will go a little slow because we have to prepare base for others also. But obviously, whenever we have covered some topic, if you have question, I'm surely happy to take it.
Thank you.
Is the licenses only based on production ITIL roles or
Production ITIL.
it is
On
not?
production, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Anyone else, any other query?
You said 3 default instances come when we buy a package or a contract. What if, I mean, development testing, what if I wanted to have development testing, UAT, and then prod? Is that
so
part of
it? Is feasible. In that case, your company will have to pay extra to service. But yeah, many companies do even use the UAT, where the customers test, customers validate whether the requirement is working fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, any other query?
I have training related query as in, do we get to do assignments later as we cover the topics, or how does that, I don't know if it's supposed to be addressed here or asked Srinivas.
So, no. So what we will be doing, obviously, as part of the learning, it cannot be one way that I'm just speaking and all. So when we'll go into the development and the integration, that's where your assignments will start. In your admin, we are not going to give you any assignment because it's just the base understanding. Like today, if I give you what can I ask you? I have not talked anything technical, correct? I'm still trying to prepare a base for you. So in the admin, you will not have any assignment till I cover these key applications. You will not have any assignments.
Okay.
Once I start development, that's where on the daily basis on whatever topic we would have covered, we will have assignment, and that's where I'll seek your help to complete it the very next day so that we can talk about the solution.
All right. The projects, do we get to do a project at the end or something?
We will be giving you the project assignment, and then we'll be giving you after the project, sorry, the training is all over, we'll be giving you 4 clarification sessions. So you can use those clarification sessions if you're done with the project. I can't force everyone, correct? That, okay, you have to do the project because project is a large scale thing, correct? So what we do is at the end, we do give the project to the people. It's their call. We are not in school that, yeah, I can, hold the session for that. But yeah, a project will be there. It's your call if you want to do and if you want to discuss, yeah, you're more than welcome.
It's an individual project, right? Or group?
No, it's the same project which I'm going to give to everyone to try on their own. It's an individual one in that aspect.
Okay.
So once we're done with it, we can talk about that.
And that would be one project, is what you said?
One project.
Okay.
Anyone else, any other? Okay, if not any query, guys, we'll catch up tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.